I ran 1 million domains through 5 different backlink checkers to see who really is the best backlink checker. And the results were not what I was expecting. You see, Ahrefs have always dominated my previous tests. But let me tell you right now, and much to my surprise, Ahrefs came in last position this time. That means that Moz, SEMrush, SEO Spyglass and Majestic all scored better than Ahrefs in my testing. Now, before I reveal the winner, I want to talk you through the test methodology. The domains for this test were pulled from the Majestic Million. These are the top 1 million websites based on the total number of referring IPs and subnets according to Majestic. I then took these million domains and got the same data from Ahrefs, SEMrush, Moz and SEO Spyglass to make a comparison. For example, if you look at my blog in Ahrefs, you will see it has 3,406 referring IPs, with 2,406 referring subnets. But if you look at it in Majestic, they find 2,999 referring IPs and 2,273 referring subnets. In this specific example, Ahrefs wins because they find more backlinks than Majestic. Now imagine repeating that same test 1 million times across all 5 tools. That resulted in 5 million rows of data that you can download in my full blog post. But for now, I want to tell you who won my backlink checker testing this time around. These are the total number of wins by IP address, and as you can see, SEMrush absolutely dominated the competition. But interestingly, Ahrefs came last. Moving on to the total number of wins by subnet, again, SEMrush dominated the competition, followed by Moz, Majestic, SEO Spyglass and Ahrefs. Now, it's important to note that this only shows the number of wins and not absolute numbers. For example, you could have 5 tools look at the same site and report something like this. There really isn't much difference between the results, but SEMrush would get the point for the win here. So, these graphs just represent the number of times each backlink checker beat all of their competition, and SEMrush are winning most of the time. Now, another really simple way to look at the data is to look at the average number of IP addresses and subnets that each tool found across the dataset. Here, you can see that on average, Ahrefs reported 1,214 IPs per domain, whereas SEMrush reported 3,006. But surprisingly, all the other backlink checkers beat Ahrefs here as well. That's really interesting because they've dominated all of my testing previously. But this time, SEMrush well and truly crushed the competition. But I want to talk to you about a few potential flaws with the experiment. The first one is that Moz has to be included in this test like a long time ago. But for one reason or another, their backlink checker doesn't track IP addresses or subnets. Now, I think that's pretty fundamental data that they should be collecting, but they don't. So, for this test, they had to use a regression model to predict the number of IPs and subnets in their database, which, by their own admission, should be taken with a huge grain of salt. Secondly, I was relying on the help and the assistance of each of the tools to provide data. Majestic published theirs publicly, but Ahrefs, Moz, Majestic and SEMrush had to pull it out for me. And while my team have spent a lot of time spot checking that data, it's just not feasible to manually verify 5 million rows of data, which is why I've made the entire dataset publicly available. And finally, each tool has its own index. That means we're dealing with 5 entirely unique databases, and not all of those databases share the same links. It could be that SEMrush finds 100 links and Ahrefs finds 100 links, but between them there's actually 180 unique links. So I want you to keep in mind that, well, size isn't everything. As the old saying goes, it's not how big it is, it's how you use it, right? You see, each of the backlink checkers offer very different user experience, and ultimately it doesn't matter how much data a tool has if it's not usable data. Ahrefs has my favorite interface, for example. It's pretty intuitive and doesn't take a lot of time to get used to. Plus, they provide you with lots of one-click filters to help you find the data you need. For example, you can filter by link type, whether it's do follow, content-based, or from an edu site. Or you can drill down by platform, like blogs and forums. They also generate lots of handy reports like their Best by Links report to find your competitors' most important pages in terms of backlinks. Or their Best by Links growth report. That allows you to see the link velocity of any page of any website on the planet. No other tool can do that. The SEMrush dashboard is less intuitive and takes a little bit longer to get used to. It also has fewer filters and, well, the ones they do have are not always useful. But I happen to know they're doing a lot of work to improve how usable their data is right now. And if neither of those seem right for you, you might want to check out SEO Spyglass, which is the only desktop-based tool in this list, and recent upgrades have made it lightning fast without the expensive monthly fee that Ahrefs and SEMrush carry. It's also the most customizable tool that I've tested. It allows you to build custom reports and summaries however you want to build them, and they offer lots of different data points to do that. Plus, you can also import backlink data from third-party tools like Google Search Console or SEMrush. And yes, there is a free version available for you to download and play with. But if you want access to the biggest backlink database on the planet right now, you should take advantage of the exclusive 14-day SEMrush trial underneath this video. It won't cost you anything, and you can use the full suite of SEMrush tools, which also includes a keyword research tool, an on-page SEO auditor, a rank tracker, a content writer, and a bunch of other things, as well as the biggest backlink database on the planet. But before you check that out, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel now for more great videos like this, or watch the next video to see how you can use my free intelligent spreadsheets to create personalized keyword and link building strategies in minutes.